Are you ready for your last comedian? No. Are you ready? All right, Zoomers, thanks for keeping all the energy up and for keeping it here. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw him at the last show, born right before your eyes. Round 2, it's Chris Booth! Have fun.
Good evening, good evening. Thanks for coming out. I'm Chris, and I'm proud to say I'm a war veteran. Thank you. The war called parenting. You know, they say parenting is the hardest job you'll ever have. I don't consider it a job. I consider it a lifelong sentence, doing hard time. And that's because when you're a parent, you're always a parent. Doesn't matter how old your kids are. I should know. I've got 2 kids. I've got a daughter that's 40 and a son that's 16. Easily explainable. Wives 2, 3, and 4 refused to have sex with me. I didn't hold it against them, literally. But, you know, it's not easy being a parent. No, it's not. You know, I was watching Norah O'Donnell the other night on CBS News, and she was doing a feel-good story on fatherhood. You know, a feel-good story on fatherhood. You know, Chris doesn't go for the good news. He's for the news that say, we must warn you, the next video you're about to see has disturbing images. That's why I am there. But anyway, Nora's, interviewing this father. His name was Chuck. And Chuck says, parenting was what was missing from my life. It's brought me such joy and happiness. And I thought, those poor kids, Daddy Chucky's on drugs. And then I thought, wait a minute, there's a drug that makes you happy to be a parent? Well, yes, there is, Chris. Introducing new Proparenta, the drug that makes it a breeze to be a parent. Side effects include overjubilance about your child's accomplishments, uncontrollable laughing when they misbehave in front of your friends, high-fiving when they get detention at school, and overexcitement when they lie to your face. But, as a parent, a veteran parent, I can offer some advice for new parents. First and foremost, don't let your kids have any choices for as long as you can. Because once the kids have choices, it's game over and you lose. It's not, oh, Billy, do you want vanilla or do you want chocolate? No, it's butter pecan, eat it or don't, that's your fucking choice. Nut allergy, never mind, forget about it. And particularly, I'll say this for guys out there. Unfortunately, as your kids start to walk and talk, laugh and cry, scream and spit, your wife is going to want to start planning family outings. As my wife Michelle called it, family fun time. She'd be looking at the Ridgefield press, looking for things to do on the weekend, and she would see, oh, this sounds fun. And I would go, oh God, here we go. Here come those 5 horrible words. Fun for the whole family. Nothing is fun for the whole fucking family. Okay? So my advice to the guys out there is this. If your wife is planning family fun time, make sure you have access to alcohol. That way, you're not the one that's miserable. Something really bothers me. When I meet somebody new or I strike up a conversation, they inevitably ask, so what do you do? Let's start a movement. I've always wanted to start a movement. Let's start a movement right here, right now. The next time somebody asks you, what do you do? I want you to look at them straight in the eye and say, I take care of shit. Because it doesn't matter what your job is. It doesn't matter what your personal situation is. That's what you do all day. You take care of shit. The problem The problem is, some of us, and you know who you are, don't take care of your fair share of shit. And the rest of us have to deal with your shit, which is bullshit. Inevitably, we start dealing with your shit and we say to ourselves, holy shit! Why am I dealing with all this shit? Shit, I'm not gonna take this shit anymore. And that's when it turns all to shit. Speaking of turning to shit, let's tackle a topic we probably shouldn't. Politics. You know, the Republicans are really confusing me with their stance on abortion and gun rights. Seems they're more preoccupied with protecting the fetus in the womb and not the kid in the classroom. Also, very bad timing on overturning Roe versus Wade. We don't have enough baby formula now for the babies we have. I mean, simple supply and demand, okay? Let's solve the formula shortage first before we ramp up production on babies. I feel like I have a license to talk about Republicans because I used to be one, lifelong Republican. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I was too fat to fit into the stormtrooper outfit they passed out during the Trump presidency. So I had to say bye-bye to the dark side. But I did vote for Donald Trump. I did, 2016, I voted for Donald Trump. I kind of fell for that old drain the swamp thing. It was the ultimate bait and switch. Instead of draining the swamp became radioactive. And all the Republican senators and congressmen turned into swamp creatures, gobbling up the last remnants of Ronald Reagan republicanism. And then John McCain died. And that was the final nail in my Republican coffin. Yes, it was. But you know, Trump ran on building that gigantic wall, you know, to keep immigrants out. I only have one word about their gigantic wall, and that's tunnel. Yeah, he wanted to keep immigrants out. You know, what we built this country on and why we have so many different restaurants. But he stoked the fear that immigrants were going to ruin our country. I've got news, folks. The people that are going to ruin our country are already here. So I am proposing that we do a swap program. Here's how the swap program works. We swap busloads of hardworking, family-loving, America-embracing, faith-loving immigrants into the country, and we swap out busloads of white supremacists, swastika painting, oath keeper, proud boy, MAGA hat wearing morons out of the country. It's called the Great American Bus Swap, and it's sponsored by Greyhound. I've been watching the January 6th hearings, and I find it amazing, really. And one of the most interesting things I found is on the night of the election, a bunch of Trump advisors, including his campaign manager, said Rudy showed up at the White House drunk. Bill Stepien, his campaign manager, said, hey, Rude, what are you doing here? I need to see El Presidente. Rude, why do you need to see the president? We need to claim victory. No, Rude, we're not going to do that. We've already advised the president not to do that. It's going to be several days before we know who won the election. So we're not doing that. We need to claim victory. We need to say we won. Well, what happened later that evening? Donald Trump claimed he won the election. So in the last days of the President Trump's presidency, the village idiot took advice from the Big Apple town drunk. And when was the last time it was a good idea to take advice from a drunk man, an old drunk man? I mean, I know my wife never takes advice from me. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, well,